can see it now, Nova.
Beamed Buster.
A crossover show. Famous couples showing the public how love is done. Because everyone knows celebrity marriages are more stable than relationships in real life, and they always end happily ever after.
No, I said, banging my one head on the table. I don't think you've understood any of this, Buster. Being a celebrity doesn't make you immune to the problems and stresses of real life. In many ways, that added pressure can make things worse, especially when your work calls you away to different planets. But then, every couple has pressure. Buster looked confused.
You mean relationships can go wrong between ordinary people too?
Well, I said, lifting my head up, I dispute there being such a thing as ordinary people, as everyone is extraordinary. But yes, any relationship can go wrong. Buster looked even more confused.
But I thought your Mechion algorithms were the best in the universe. How can a couple you match together possibly fall apart?
Oh, quite easily, I said, sorting through another deck of holofiles. I mean, all we can do is provide the numbers and match interests on who would best get on together in a perfect universe. I pride myself that we've matched together more couples than any other app in existence, but somehow couples aren't destined to end up together forever, no matter how much it seems as if they are meant to. Sometimes life and circumstances and past hurt and history and rejection just get in the way. Buster laughed.
Good job on the Belobrat then. Our lives are perfect.
I know that I should have remained professional, but I couldn't keep in my laughter any longer. You guys, perfect. Seriously, we have more complaints about Belobrat matches than any other species on our books. Buster pulled a face. Not that it's always your fault, I added hastily. Besides, the one thing that's the same for every species is that love isn't easy. All 12 types struggle.
Well,
said Buster,
you've told me one success story, and one success story that hadn't quite happened yet, given what we know about those two stars in later life. There must be some other examples of where things go wrong. That's when our viewers tune in the most, when things are getting juicy. You know the sort of thing. Boy Belobrat meets girl Belobrat, his second head is cheating on her third head, while the first head is cheating on his sister's brother's cousin's dog walker's granny's hairdresser. You know, the everyday kind of thing.
I frowned. Well, I don't exactly have that sort of thing, mostly because I don't think it really exists, except in the fantasy of reality TV.
Then show me another example,
said Buster.
Please, I'd like to see what happens when love goes wrong. Really wrong, I mean.
I sighed and looked through my case file notes. Something you'll understand. There was a couple here, an Agrosian and a Belobrat.
I like it already,
said Buster, leaning forward eagerly in his chair. I thought we were going to be forever, I said. For a while there, so did they. They matched up to a record amount of things in common on our database. They seemed to have everything going for them. They lasted 15 years. But things went wrong, which neither of them seemed to be able to control for various reasons, most of them historical, set out for them long before they were born, caused by generations of his insecurity being brought up among fellow egotists, and her being bred for war by a rogue queen. You know, the true everyday stuff. We got lots of updates from this couple through the Universal at one time, bragging messages from both of them mostly, about how perfect they were. But this was the very last we heard from either. I don't know what happened after this.
Ooh, goody,
said Buster.
Did they end up hating each other?
I threw him a hard-earned stare and regretted having just one pair of eyes to do it with. These are actual people, you know, not the actors you have on your reality TV programmes. One thing you need to realise before you hear this story. I've seen a lot of couples in my time. I've been to multiple intergalactic weddings as a special guest, and many of these couples have been to see me while they stay at the hostels and Airbnbs on our premises on Earth. And that time I grew to learn a formula by which couples always part, though working out who will stay together is so much harder.
Yes,
said Buster, rapidly taking notes. People think that hate is the opposite of love. But it's not true. Hate is a strong emotion against someone you either care about or used to care about, love that has nowhere to go and turned into something else. People don't realise it, but it's indifference that's the opposite of love. With every couple I met, it was those who weren't all that visibly interested in each other that I knew would never stand the course of time. I would fold the minute things got difficult. With the exception of two Mechions together, of course. Whenever they showed up, they never displayed the slightest interest in anything, and just asked me lots of mathematical questions about my latest algorithms. But my theories work for every other species. Passion is the sign of a big romance, of true love, be it short or long. For after all, love is a risky business. The very odds of finding the right person compatible with all your quirks is astronomically against you. You have to go all in with everything you've got and risk everything. Depending on what else happens, sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that's more than enough. And sometimes that isn't even close to being enough. And that's okay too. Not every relationship needs to last forever to be important or special. However, if you're half-hearted from the beginning, you're never going to have the momentum you need to get over the first hurdle. Never mind make it all the way through the course.
No,
Moaned Buster.
but our viewers like it when our couples fall flat on their faces.
I don't, I shuddered. My heart breaks every time one of our couples don't make it, for a whole myriad of reasons often too. But for every shadow, every satellite, every obstacle in the way, you can never turn off love completely, any more than you can turn off Ziggurat's 3 suns. There'll always be a reflection, a spark of something. Buster laughed.
Not on my shows. You're either on the planet or you're off the planet.
I sighed, and that's why you'll never understand true love if you look at it in that black and white way of thinking. Aha, I said, picking up the file I had been looking for and loading it onto the holograph projector. Now you'll see what I mean. It's this love you see on this disc, or hate. It certainly isn't indifference. It's a 2-hander, this one. Well, 5-hander technically, I suppose. And a 4-header.